So play reactively. So this basically doesn't mean sit there with your pump out. This means to know when to like bring your pump out, when to not have your pump out, when to pre-box, when to do a peek like this, when to do what peek is a big one as well. So reactively playing even in box fighting. In this situation where I have the opponent in my cone, I would react to the fact that he's in a cone, and I wouldn't do the same thing I would do if he was standing against this corner here. So in this situation, I would probably do this and make sure they don't jump out at me, because a big thing they could do is just do that and jump out at you. So I'll do that, be ready to reset the wall, and also be ready to do this to block it. But I'll just do this and completely miss my shot, because that's one way to play reactive. Same thing, I'm gonna quickly go over it again. Depending on what corner they're in, will change completely differently to what peak you should do. If they're in this back corner here, you don't want to do a peanut butter peek, because that's then just as good of an angle for them as it is for you. In this situation here, if they was in that back corner, you would want to do some other edit. In my opinion, this one is the best one, because you can still tag their feet, and you definitely cannot get tagged back from here. Hell no, that's literally impossible. Or you could do some sort of window peek, but they're a lot less safe. So that's one way to play reactively, and another way is also pre-boxing, and the best way to practice that is just piece control drills like we were just doing. So this is a good example of a situation you'll be in. A lot of the time you'll find yourself doing this, where you cross each other's ramps, and some people will just do this and instantly edit this, and this isn't bad, but I wouldn't say that's the best option, or they'll edit it like this and just straight away just jump. And it's not a bad option, but I personally don't like it. I would like to like try full box them a bit more and take my time and get a different angle. Sometimes I'll even break my stair so I can have a cone to try and get a better peek, because I just feel more like safe and comfortable with doing that kind of move in that situation. There's a lot of things that come into being reactive that people don't talk about. I should actually make a full video on it, because it's actually a really big topic. So the next thing to do in a 1v1 is to know when to push, like bring the pace up and be a bit more aggressive, and also when to be a bit more defensive. How do I have consistent 0 ping? I'm in a single player match, and also because of gear up. That's another reason. Yeah, if you want gear up, it's in the description. So knowing when to defend and box up and slow down the pace of the fight, and knowing when to speed up. And this isn't as complicated as being reactive. Knowing when to play defensive and aggressive is very simple. It's more about health, it's more about control, and it's more about how the fight's going. So if you really want to long out the fight and really take your time to try and ensure you get the win, you can just slow it down purely off the fact, even if you haven't been tagged, purely off the fact. What the hell does that comment say? You could just slow down the fight purely because of the fact that you're getting pieced up quite a lot. If you get tagged for like 170, that's an instant indicator to go into the defensive, start boxing up, start trying to pre-fire, start using also when you're moving away and being defensive, don't just place walls like this, also place stairs. A good way is to put the stair behind you like this, and then if you accidentally end up on a stair like this, what I do is I just flip it and I'll go out the side. See, that's a great way to play defensive. So if you get hit 170, defensive instantly. If you tag them 170, or it doesn't exactly have to be 170, just a large amount, that's obviously an instant indicator to start aggression. Is it good to try and counter damage? Yeah, 100% in every situation, but especially defensive. If you've just been tagged 120 and they're putting a lot of pressure on you, you're going to have to do counter damage. Otherwise, they're not going to stop that pressure. They're just going to keep pressuring you until you literally just can't hold the walls anymore and you run out of mats or whatever happens. So getting the counter damage will usually make the player back off a little bit and heal up themselves, depending on how much you hit them for. But a lot of the time, if you hit them for like 100, they're going to take a step back. They're going to take their time to heal, and you also have time to heal too. Bro, I have become semi-pro because of your videos. I don't know how to respond to these kind of comments. I'm not gonna lie, I'm awkward as hell. But I love to hear that. So defensive aggressive. If you get hit for 100 and you also tag them for 100, is a bit of a different situation. But making sure that you're being decisive in what you want to do. Most of the time, I will still pressure them because I know that I'm capable of taking them out quite easily because I'm quite good at the game. But if you feel like you need to take a step back and heal, that's definitely a great option too. That's just different play styles really. Either one can work, but it's definitely the better option to go heal up. Because if you just run at them with 100 health, they got 100 health too. It's a bit of a 50-50 situation. I was going to put counter damage. Now you've put that. So let's just put counter damage down. Counter damage. But that kind of goes into the next point, which is don't freak out if low. If you're on low health in a 1v1, don't start freaking out. Don't start just spamming like this. Just spamming. You need to make sure you're staying calm. You're doing the right things. You need to make sure you're in the right mindset to do counter damage. Still trying to get those peaks in. Still trying to do some protective build moves. And still just trying to keep your pressure on whilst also being defensive. If that makes sense. So that's quite a simple one too. Confidence. The main way, in my opinion, is to train harder. And not even train harder, just train hard. Because if you know that you're training hard, then you're going to have the confidence that you've put in the practice to beat this person. And you've put in the practice to counter the situations he's trying to put you in. Follow him, everyone. He really helps you with the videos and streams. So follow everyone and activate the bell. Thank you, Savage FNBR. Glaze me. What your retakes should do. So this just basically means when you're doing a retake, what is the purpose? Because I see some people doing retakes that are just ridiculous, like so pointless. I used to tell everyone to do this retake, and looking back at it, it's actually a horrendous retake. You're either facing, most of the time, either facing your opponent or facing away from your opponent. So if you're doing this and then jumping out here, you're either going to leave yourself open to get shot from right here, or open to get shot from over here. The only time this is helpful is if your opponent is on your left and you're already going to get shot here anyway from that. And if they're on your right, you're already going to get shot anyway as well. So this is literally the most pointless retake ever. And it's one I used to tell people, I mean a long time ago, like when I used to just teach my cousin before I even started making content or playing competitive. That's what I would tell people to do. But your retakes should always serve the purpose of protecting every angle needed. So obviously you could sit there going like that, like this, but it's just very inconsistent for most players. Like I can't do that, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look flashy. It's quite ineffective because you're very predictable if you're just doing spamming that over and over. But it's just about protecting the angles you need. So let's pretend that my opponent is running up behind me like this. Just doing this is very effective. Obviously not too many times, but I would do this a couple of times. Maybe come out here, side jump, and when I side jump, make sure that the side jump is protected with two walls right there. Jump into the side jump. Sometimes I'll do a second one, or I'll just edit through and try three-piece right there. The main thing I want you to take away from this last bit is that your retakes should have a purpose to block every angle rather than just looking flashy. This here is one I like. This is one I saw Asian Jeff use the most. So it's basically just a triple edit. The first one might not have the wall, but I would definitely try to place the wall if you can. And then you just do it over and over and over. And it's more to protect if someone is like from this angle. If I was up there from this angle, that would be a good one. So it's just all just to protect the angle of your opponent. It's never actually to regain height. There's one I showed you earlier, which is the most common one ever. the phase sway retake. This is, in my opinion, the most effective because it can block every angle you need it to. Someone's on your left, you can block the left. Someone's on your right, you can block the right. And it also always blocks behind. And then you can also do other retakes from these retakes as well. So yeah, that is the last point. Let's just quickly recap. So most important things to do in a 1v1, we're just going to quickly recap it. Reactive playstyle, which doesn't mean to just sit there with your pump out the whole time. It means to know when to predict opponents, know when to do certain particular peaks. So as I was saying, when someone's in this back left corner, don't do this peak because that's a 50-50. You got to do this peak. So that's also part of the reactivity. Defensive and aggressive, know when to defend, know when to aggress. Counter damage, so just like getting counter damage, putting your opponent on the back foot, and also using their aggression against them. Don't freak out if you're low. Confidence, just having the confidence that your opponent is just as good as you. And the best way to get that confidence is just by practicing. Practicing not more, but practicing hard. And also keep in mind that you've practiced hard, because this will then make you believe like, okay, I've practiced for this. I've done enough practice now to the point where this player, my opponent is nowhere near leagues above me. He's just maybe slightly better than me, but I can adapt the way I play to play better than him. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. It's a bit of a confusing one to explain, and I'm a bit rubbish at explaining it. And lastly, what your retakes should do, if that makes sense. So defense angles, put you in better situations, and yeah, that is it. Thank you all for watching. Also, you in chat, check out the playlist. It's called like the full FORTNITE improvement, free FORTNITE improvement, or something like that. That playlist has every single video that you're gonna need, and it's every single video that I've made. So make sure to watch that. And yeah,